But how does a massive 24-year catalog, a sprawling archive of trauma, grief, acoustic guitars, beat production, and triumph actually survive the modern digital era?
How do you protect the architecture from the algorithm?
You protect it through data. You weaponize the spreadsheets.
And this is where Nate Sam, the technician, becomes the absolute unsung hero of the Outsounding universe.
In January 2026, the label executes what the internal documents call the One Vault Directive.
They take 24 years of highly fragmented intellectual property, the old pre-streaming analog recordings from local Jacksonville studios, the modern digital hip-hop stems, the session notes, and they centralize all of it
into a single, airtight, outsounding master registry.
Yes.
I call this the spreadsheet rebellion.
I love that phrase.
Because they don't just put it on a hard drive, they wire it into the global system.
The notes show a heavy reliance on ISRCs and UPCs.
Now, for the listener, an ISRC is an international standard recording code.
It is essentially a permanent, unalterable digital fingerprint for a specific sound recording.
And a UPC is the universal barcode for an album.
The massive corporate major labels use this exact same data backbone to control the global streaming algorithms.
But what Outsounding does is brilliant. They leverage that exact same corporate tracking technology, but they route it exclusively through direct-to-consumer platforms like Bandcamp.
Let's explain the mechanism of why that matters.
As do.
If you just upload a song to a streaming service, you are feeding the algorithm. You are at the mercy of their playlists and their payout fractions.
Which are notoriously terrible.
Exactly. But by minting their own ISRCs, building their own master registry, and selling directly to the consumer, they create a closed ecosystem.
It is the ultimate fusion of artistic creativity and bureaucratic cataloging.
By assigning permanent global tracking codes to intimate lyrics about overcoming generational trauma, they have permanently wired their psychological survival into the global music infrastructure.
It ensures that their legacy cannot be erased, it cannot be forgotten, and most importantly, it cannot be monetized by anyone other than the creators themselves.
That's the real victory.
Let me summarize this because it just gets me so fired up.
Go for it.
Think about what rebellion looks like in music. We are trained to think that the most powerful punk rock rebellion is smashing a guitar on stage, or screaming into a microphone, or trashing a hotel room.
Yeah, that's the cliche.
But in an industry dominated by corporate giants and endless streams of algorithmic slop, that kind of rebellion is just noise.
Just noise.
The most dangerous permanent rebellion you can execute today is quietly, flawlessly, and ruthlessly cataloging your own soul in an airtight spreadsheet so that no corporation can ever own your narrative.
It is the ultimate final manifestation of no noise, just pressure.
They didn't fight the industry.
They quietly hijack the industry's own digital rails to protect their art.
So let's step back and look at the monument we just explored.
We covered a lot of ground.
We have successfully scaled the definitive lyrical hierarchy.
We grabbed our shovels and started in the burning living rooms and the forced Friday work sessions of the early 2000s.
Diagnosing the disease with the frantic split-screen survival of Calumet Circle.
We moved up and navigated the claustrophobic digital fog of war and the existential dread of modern adulthood with Sago palms.
Choosing the biological reset of the Florida sunshine over the noisy little boxes.
We sat at the crossroads of grief, subverting the angry breakup and cheating death with an invisible choir.
We stood under the gleaming steel scaffold of the 2025 roster expansion, watching Jimmy Blanco and Hitch King paint the streets with high-velocity reality.
And finally, we climbed the vertical mountain with the left-handed Capricorn.
Navigating the color theory of saturated faded, weaponizing our emotions, and proudly smudging the ink on the master plan.
And through it all, they proved the label's ultimate, unyielding belief. Music is not a file. It is memory, and memory deserves architecture.
They didn't just survive their history.
They engineered it into a permanent legacy.
Which leaves us with one final provocative thought for you to mull over as you go about your day.
Think about the massive, messy, sprawling archive of your own life.
If every heartbreak you've endured, every quiet failure you've hidden, and every triumphant moment you've celebrated were assigned a unique digital fingerprint and cataloged into a single master registry,
What would your track list look like?
if someone pulled the stems of your life, would they just hear a collection of chaotic, disconnected noise? Or would they see that you eventually learned how to engineer it all into a masterpiece of pressure?